This is Jerill with the Appalachian Heritage Woodshop. Today I'm at Heritage Farm Museum and Village in Wayne County, West Virginia. And I had somebody question me about what is the best kind of vise to have on your workbench. And the correct answer is that depends. It depends on the type of woodworking you do. So what I thought I would do is go over some of the vices that are used on a woodworking bench, and then you can decide what is best for your type of woodworking. Here in the Heritage Museum, we have a very, very old woodworking bench, and this is a true tail vise here. You can actually clamp stuff into the wood block here, and you also have the dog holes down through here where you can clamp something in this way by moving it in and out. And of course this is very old, and you can see the wood threads in here. This is a German origin, and it's called a tail vise. And the reason it's called a tail vise is because it is attached to the tail or the end of the workbench. Now down here at the other end of the bench, we have what is called a face vise. And it is called that because it is attached to the face or the front of the vise. And this one also has wood threads, and you can see it clamps really good and tight. So this is a nice vise to have also. The only problem with wood threaded vise are 2 seasons of the year they will work great. The other 2 seasons of the year they will either be sloppy or bind up because the wood will expand and then fit a little bit too tight or be a little bit too loose. So now, if you don't mind, we're going to go to another workbench in another place here at Heritage Farm Museum and Village, and we're going to look at the vise on that workbench. This is one of my favorite types of vise. This is a Moxon vise. It is a French origin, and it is designed to be stored under the workbench, and then when you need the vise, you bring it up and clamp it to the top of the workbench. The good thing about this is a workbench is sized to do hand planing on, but if you want to do some hand sawing or chiseling, then a workbench is a little bit too low. This actually elevates a work surface, so it's more ergonomically correct for hand sawing or chiseling. So let me remove this, and then I'll show you a couple other vices. Okay, this is a modified tail vise. Now, if you remember seeing the one in the old antique workbench, it actually had a large block out here which moved with it. This one does not. This just has the block that has the dog hole in it that moves. So this is called a modified workbench. This is called a modified tail vise. And this is the type that I really like to use. So let's step down here and look at this other vise we have. This is called a leg vise. Some people call it a boot vise or a jack vise. It is American descent, and it is designed where it moves in and out, and you have a follower down here. And when you put a rod in there, it will stop there and then pivot, and the top will go in and clamp. So it is extremely wide or very narrow depending on what your needs are. So this is a really good vise here. And this is called the follower that goes with it. So if you have a long board out this way, you can put it in here, and this will hold this end of the board all the way out. So it makes it easy to work with. Again, this is an American leg vise, or some people call it a boot vise. This is a woodworker's vise. Any vise that has wooden jaws is considered a woodworker's vise. This is a manufactured one. It's very old. It's made in America. I got this at a yard sale for about $5. It does need a new handle and a few other things. but it's in good working order. Now the way this mounts to the workbench is you have to drill holes for the followers and the yaw thread, and you mount it so the top is flush with the bench, and then you have a good vise. So now you've seen a tail vise, which is a German descent, a modified tail vise. You've seen the leg vise, which is American descent. You've seen a face vise, front vise, a pre-manufactured vise. So now you should be able to determine what type of vise you want for your workbench.